Hi, this is Lynn with Educating with Wisdom, and I'm the ambassador for Heavens and Creating, Protecting Goddesses and Archangels over Life. I'm going to be a little quiet because I want to cut right to two videos immediately. Actually, there are three that we're going to be looking at. This is for whistleblowing purposes, and this is to go before the National Organization of Women. I'm going to address more right after I finish with the first video so that you understand the sincerity. Mr. Trump, Mr. Comey, Biden, Kamala Harris, Gibbard, Clinton, they all agreed to what we have going on there. So let me come out of this. Let me come out of me, and so that the National Organization of Women and the whistleblowers understand that. Do you see the rainbow flag 7? Because the Noahide was the original 7th for the Shabbat, with the rainbow flag, to understand what the Noahide was for the covenant, which is your law that you're to follow, and the Hillary Clinton as co-president. That's right. Because men have no authority to rule over women. None whatsoever. God never gave them. And that's what the biblical analysis looked at when I went through and did the Hebrew. Okay. But they also didn't want you to see my case. So let's go in and listen to the first little bit, because I'll tell you what happened on October the 27th, 2016. Let's go in. Lynn Schnelly with Educating with Wisdom, and I'm the ambassador for Heaven's Creating and Protecting Goddesses and Archangels over Life. I'm sorry this is so grainy. I've taken this a few times, and it's not uploading right into YouTube. On top of that, the powers that be kept shutting down my computer, and I'm sure I made it too long. So I'm going to try to make this pretty short for me. We're looking at the Noahide laws on the rainbow flag, which is what the covenant was about, and the appointment of Hillary Clinton as co-president. Because as I mentioned earlier, I was one of the people that went to the Republicans on October the 27th, 2016, showed my documents to the National, and the next day Mr. Comey came out and said that she was still under investigation. Now, I have some concerns that Hillary Clinton was being set up to be impeached anyway. So I'm going to get into that briefly, but because of everything that's happened in England, in the United States, the fact that Fiona Hill, who testified, definitely, I'm quite sure, has a penis. I've already reached out to the Russians, and I'll let you know shortly. Basically, because they have the double-headed ego with King and St. George in it. They oversee the tree of life. Okay. I should say the tree of Mara. Okay. So, with that in mind, let's go on to the next piece, because this is what I found, but I want you to hear what somebody kept from Amazing Polly. And Amazing Polly was a critical source that was on YouTube, and I used to listen to her. She's been deleted. Ooh. And in early March, she did a piece where Miss Brex came out, and when she was first announced, and said to the people, she said it to the masses, and Amazing Polly had this, and she said to the masses, now I know social media, and you people can know how to turn this virus off, because you don't have to spread it like this. And I mean, I heard her say that, and Amazing Polly had it up. Now, I videotaped this someplace, and it's someplace in my records, but I want to go in and play what Amazing Polly had set aside. And again, this is no longer online for you to have. This is someone else who taped it from Amazing Polly. So let's go in and see that. Out of me, in here. Let's pay attention to this. This is Amazing Polly. Oh, wait a minute. Let's come back here. Mine over here. That was December the 22nd, 2019. I did that one. So let's listen to Amazing Polly.
This is a video by Amazing Polly. It's on BitChute. And here's a little segment in a clip of Pauly announcing Anthony Fauci, right after Trump got elected, said this.
Gosh, this is getting long, and I still haven't covered all the other booms. Just in case you weren't aware, Anthony Fauci gave an interesting speech at Georgetown University shortly after Trump was inaugurated, and here's what he had to say.
I thought I would bring that perspective to the topic today, is the issue of pandemic preparedness. And if there's one message that I want to leave with you today, based on my experience, and you'll see that in a moment, is that there is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases, both chronic infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a surprise outbreak.
He had no doubt that there would be a surprise pandemic? How can you have no doubt that there will be a surprise? It's a contradiction in terms. Yeah, isn't that very interesting? And just let me add this little part.
So from my own personal experiences and why I can say with some confidence that history tells us that we will definitely get surprised in the next few years. So it all started for me when I became director of NIAID, and that was in 1984. I had my graphics people do a sort of a map of the United States of America, and I put on the map this new emerging infectious disease, which is HIV/AIDS. And I take that map, and one way or another, every single time I testify before the Congress, particularly for my budget, almost always for my budget, and I talk about global health and emerging infectious diseases, I add one, sometimes two, sometimes three, even.
Now, I'm not sure that I didn't play too much, but that person has already done a clip in this, and this has not been removed by you. This is a YouTube, and it was not removed, and she's not even on here anymore. We don't know where she is. It's not BitTube. So let's come out of me for just a moment. We're going to come in. I'm going to go in and show you something. Here we go. Let's see if we can find this. Oh, I've got to come out of me. Wrong one. Okay. This is telling you, it took me a while. I have the video of it. I'm looking up a translation of in Revelations because they have switched the words around. Anyway, and the people on the other side are trying to tell me that I need to give them my Tom documents, and they actually embed this into my search, telling me to get the Tom documents, which is very interesting when I do my Bing search. So I have that, but let's come out of this part, and I'm going to show you something. Here we have a picture of Grimes in September of 2019, posing. She cuts into her video with a mask on, posing. All right, and what she's doing with the mask on has absolutely nothing to do with her lyrics. And then all of a sudden she comes in and they start like shooting, pretend they're shooting with their hands. So the whole Black Lives Matter has been a setup. This is just a way to get these vaccines and to get the masses completely falling apart. There's studies on how to do this. This is her in January, supposedly her in January. This is Musk. Of course, Musk has permission to put thousands of his satellites up there. The Russians aren't complaining. Nobody's are complaining. Oh, here's the Chinese doctor. Let's take a look at Zhang Yang, because I caught this, and I put this online right after I caught it in February, because I said this thing is too fishy. Why would the government, Chinese government, let him send out any official documents? Why would he be allowed to have any selfies? This isn't like the Chinese. I said, there's something really fishy about even all of this. So let's go look it up. And sure enough, let's look the Yang Xiang. And I have videos that I'm going to show you up here on this. And Yang Xiang is, oh, what happened to it? Hold on, let's put us on pause. Okay, I don't know what happened to the picture that I had in my document here. Let's come back here, because there was a picture of his lab that was right underneath, and it must have been in my editing. I took it out. So let's look at Yang Xiang. There is no actual Yang Xiang. When I went through and I did 3 documentaries on this particular thing with the COVID, what there is, let's see if we can find it, is this is his laboratory, Yang Xiang, and it used to specifically say it wasn't working with COVID per se, but his specialty was HIV. That was his specialty, HIV and cancer treatments. And that's what it was when I first started doing this back in February. So what happened is that the only thing that particular researcher has done, I should say the journalist that CNN quote unquote has, who covered all those stories regarding China and Wuhan, it's all linked back to this lab. So this lab, this whole pandemic, the Black Lives Matter, everything's been set up, the whole thing's been staged. And this is part of the problem of the Apollo age. And this is, I haven't discussed this yet, but I'm sending this out to the National Organization of Women. There's the other thing that's been a problem, and there has been an utter war on women. I need to get out of me. Here we go. So let me come out of this and show you this. The problem is that they've gotten women to agree to all these things, but I haven't told you some basic things. Like here we have Fiona Hill. Here's Fiona Hill's erection. This is great. Fiona Hill goes into the meetings with an erection. We have men taking over women's lives, but they've been doing it all along. Thousands of years. This is Fiona Hill with the shadow. This is I don't know how the Russians put up with it. I received notices. I've been stalked, physically stalked. People have stalked me, virtually stalked, and I have received notices. Now, I think you have to ask yourself, as if I'm just talking now for whistleblowing into the women's organization. Why would President Trump have that for his advisor, given everything President Trump is saying? And why is it I can't get any of this information out? There's Fiona Hill. There's this person. Take a look at the hands. The hands of Fiona Hill are absolutely gruesome, actually. I have no idea what's going on here. Well, I don't know what's going on with him. This is another person. These are men taking over the roles of women. This is a picture of the same person you just saw up there, who is a trauma victim, has come up with this entire story. This is a little boy. This is not about black men having set this up. This is about white men having set this up. But this is Kill Whitey. The prophecy was out there that it was going to be a woman. Oh, there's Serena Williams. He forgot his boobs. Oh, well, okay. Needle marks in the leg. Shots. Coco. This particular person has said, oh, you're a loser. Women are losers if they can't beat me. So what happened is that the decisions that Hilary Clinton made, and a lot of these women made, were made based on the omissions of men. As well, the decisions that many of these people have been made upon the omissions of other men. So for instance, Hillary Clinton didn't know that women had more DNA than men. Most women don't. I just learned about it last summer. I don't mean this past summer. I meant 2019, and as soon as I did, it started being taught in the school districts. I just want to put the following out there for you. I'm going to show you a picture of my family in a moment. But in terms of Black Lives Matter, I have brought information to the National Organization of Women, as well as to the various school districts, and at no point have any of the African Americans come out and said, we need more arts, we really need more arts. Oh, Lynn, we like that 3-year moratorium you have put out there that no one's charged. They can just come out with what's really happening, and then we can free up our scarce resources. No one has done any of these things. People for Black Lives Matter and the people of Obama never, ever implemented the programs that should have been put into school to help raise things like IQ, critical thinking, these kinds of things. And it would have been far more cost effective, as well as the National Preparative Program that I put in, which you're going to see, God willing. So I just wanted to show this out there to the National Organization of Women, because when Trump says, oh, Harris is not going to be the first president, he knows that Hillary Trump is supposed to be co-president. He knows that. Okay? He knows that Gibbard is supposed to be behind him. And when Joe Biden had that picture of himself with the picture that says, I'm going to tell the truth, it's because he's afraid of what his next life is going to be. And that's where the real weaponry comes in. That's what they don't want you to know about. And I'm going to get into that next time. I'm the reason why Trump stood in front of the church and said, we're going to have faith in God, you know, because actually, I'll just tell you, they now know they should have been looking for a woman and not for a man. They're not looking for Jesus. They were looking for the woman. Yeah, that's what they were looking for. The daughter of Zion. And the daughter of Zion is not out of Israel. The daughter of Zion is out of the Anatolia area and is related to Sarah. Whole different ballpark. That piece in Hebrew is a very, very different document than the Greek or anything else. There you go. So I'm going to be quiet about that, and I want to close with, cyber stalking, cyber monitoring. I'll get into that. I need to get this whistleblowing out. I wanted the National Organization for Women to understand that that program, that piece is out there. There will be a 3-year moratorium. Everybody puts on the table what's been going on. The resources are freed up. And then we talk about the Noahide, because the Noahide is really your protection under the law. That is something I can guarantee for you. And I will tell you in a bit how I can guarantee that for you. It has to do with your next life. And this is one of the reasons why Gibbard was very important, as well as the fact that of her military expertise. And she's Hindu, so she can help address this issue of next life. Let's move on. Out of me, I want you to see this other piece that's online so that the women understand. Oh, why did I go forward? That's an important piece. My birthday's December 12th, 1958, and the person that came to get me out of an abusive relationship, my husband, who was a nudist, tried to keep getting me in the hospital. He was that abusive. And they did not want you to know that I have my discovery. Calls into question gay men and their ability to witness or advocate for women. Let me come back in and take a look at this for a moment. And out of me, and let's come in here, put us on. Okay, this is one of my online stalkers, and for the ladies, these are the kinds of things that they can be beaming, literally, beaming through Wi-Fi. So let's turn this on. Let's find this one right here.
Drove my quads around. Quadruple children. Jumped on trampolines and worked to my duty. Never waddled when I walked either. Not impossible. Did you put yourself walking? My mom used to say that. Okay.
Oh, but they all have boys,
So
by the way. These men all have boys. Notice the back of the ears
This
is
is an
real.
earpiece. This is false. Look at this in the back. This is false. This is really scary. This is false. This is a completely false face. Look at the wrap. This is false. Oh my God, just false. Okay, let me. Morbid playlist. updated 3 days ago. Let's come in, and I want to hear, why would they have something called Orbit Playlist? Okay, because they're demonic. These people are demonic. I found my missing child. This had something to do with me finding my child. I have no idea what this is about. Webcam, 9 years ago. Let's see.
You're going to hear the...
Playlist.
Okay.
Wait until you hear this. I can't listen to it.
Okay, here we go.
This is demonic, people. It is just demonic. Okay, well, we're going to listen to parts of it. This is okay. Now, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack right there. It's like it went right to my heart. They can beam this through the Wi-Fi. They can send... Wow, that really hurt. Holy smokes. That's... They're going to kill you. And that picture of Grimes with the mask on, she has other videos that she has her war baby, the war nymph, that it talks about the sound is going to be exploding around people. Wow, that sound was like fracturing through me. These people and these men, this is what they're going to do to the masses. And Obama, they're all okay with this. They have set you up. These people are not, they're not anybody's friend. They all go to the same parties. They're, but it has a stronghold within the gay man community, not the lesbian community, because the lesbians haven't been told reality. They haven't been told what's been going on. It's within the gay man's community. So, for instance, what these people really didn't like that I was finding was the research that I was finding regarding the Bible. Like they thought was too much, or that Nahabit in Egypt is related to the vulture that brings the soul up to heaven, and in Göbekli Tepe. I mean, that's Haba, the great goddess, the Hurrian goddess, and the Hattian goddess. They bring you agriculture, which is very different than the Thracians, who bring you destruction and greed and war and all of that. And the church is based on the Thracian culture. This shows up in the Old Testament, and then it spans out into history. So I can literally track the different Thracian tribes. I can see the Moesia, I can see the Ibros, I can see the Hibero. They're all sitting up. These are all part of the Macedonia, Thrace, and all of that. And these are all the snake worshippers, all the dragon worshippers. Nostradamus actually addresses all of that, and they're the people that are actually the Antichrist, which has become the church. So it's very interesting to read the Old Testament in Hebrew and read the word Tesla come up. This is a different video, so I'm just going to leave it there. They have no authority over women. Women, in fact, it's supposed to be matrilocality, and Trump will agree to the matrilocality as well. There has been an agreement that we bring Australia, New Zealand, if New Zealand wants to come. They're such poops anyway. We'll bring the Aussies up into Canada. We'll merge with Great Britain, and we'll free up Australia for China, because China can't even breed. All right, they don't have anything. So there's a lot going on here. And now I'm quiet. I want to show you what I got on the 17th of October 2016. And when I got that, I was prompt to go forward and contact the Republican House, the Republican National. There was a national group that was up in West Palm Beach during the 1611. I didn't know who I was going to vote for. They both looked bad, and I really thought Trump was in the game to make Hillary Clinton look good.
I knew that Hillary Clinton was set up, and I knew she was crooked. And I'm not telling you she isn't. We're not saying Trump isn't crooked. I'm telling you Pamela Harris is also crooked. Excuse me, Camilla Harris is also crooked. I mean, if I look at Joe Biden with this picture of mauling little girls, okay, and then I look at Camilla Harris who shredded the pieces on clergy and their abuse of children, Catholic clergy. And if I look at what her husband did in the past, they're not great socialists. And the Zionists have been involved in all of this. In fact, the Zionists were involved in Trump, the Zionists were involved in Clinton, and believe me, Mr. Saunders is not the only Jewish person running that doesn't know what's happening. And they have surrounded the government. When they found out what's going to happen in their next life, they picked up Epstein. When I said, I have to bring this to the daughter of Zion, they picked up Maxwell. Epstein's not dead. Just like Lewinsky, Monica Lewinsky was a Mossad setup. Yeah, it gets more interesting. When I put that online, just a few days later, they put a picture of Mr. Trump wearing Mr. Clinton's picture wearing Monica Lewinsky's dress. Yeah, no, oh yeah, they understand this. Okay, so let's come out and see what prompted me to pick this up, because what happened is that I went to the Catholic Church and I brought everything to the Catholic Church. Nobody was having me cyber-stalked, cyber-monitored. You're going to see the cases that went forward and why they were doing this. But the church wouldn't do anything about it. The police wouldn't do anything. The inspector generals wouldn't do anything. No lawyer would do anything. I mean, nobody was advertising. And you can see the cyber stalking and cyber monitoring right in the case and in the response. And you're going to see the cyber stalking and cyber monitoring in the case as I give it to you. But let's go in and take a look at it, because they were going to have the year of the Fantoma coming up. And that made no sense to me, because this is supposed to be Guadalupe that's here. So I went in to see what Fantoma was about, because I didn't know. And that's when Fantoma handed the case over to Guadalupe. So my birthday's December the 12th. I just have one crazy miracle after another happening here. Let's come in here. Oh God, that's so gruesome, isn't it? Oh, that's so terrible. Okay, let's come out of here, and then I can close out. Here we go. This is my Seagate backup. They've ruined 3 computers. They ruined, and they tell me they're ruining them. I have email with them telling me, text messages telling me, and I have that for you. Okay, Fantoma gives Guadalupe video. Look, 2016. You know, I know what I have to do on this day, but it's interesting. Now this is... That's because she doesn't have the answer. Notice it says December the 12th here. That's my birthday, 2016. But... And it says that it's written. Okay, so... When we go out of here, I'm going to show you once again that it says October the 17th, 2016. So why would they have this thing written for December the 12th, 2016? And then as soon as I click on it to read some more, it comes up October the 12th, 2016. This day, Christopher, December 12th, and then when you click on it, by the way, G4S wouldn't let me open it up on my computer. Because as soon as I saw this on myself, they didn't want me to get a picture of it. Only after I made another picture. Elsewhere, they let me open this up on my computer. Oh, here we go. Now it's... See? Now it's October the 12th. Let's go back. Okay, so I actually have 3 of these.
3 of these same things. Just very quickly. This is a much faster one. Here we go. This is Fantoma. December 12th, 2016. When did he actually write it? Let's go down to they actually wrote it. On October the 12th, 2016. Okay. At that point, I thought, oh God. Now, I knew that there was a convergence of Sagittarius going on, and as it turns out, Comey is also a Sagittarian, and he also has Nostradamus' birthday. You're going to see the packet on the convergence of Sagittarius that's there. So is Francis. And they all knew that I was out there because of the prophecy that I put out there regarding the wars and how my work was being used. So with that in mind, as soon as I walked in to the Republican office in October 27th, 2016, the next day Comey came out, and that was enough to push the election over. Just that. Now, they have set this up so that Trump cannot be reelected, but also so that that 3-year moratorium, because the church loses all, what's the word I want to say? It loses all of its infrastructure as soon as somebody else takes that away from them. As soon as somebody else says, this is how we're going to out it, this is what repentance looks like, this is how it's to begin, and I have my school districts, I have my OIG, I have my FCHR, I have my Canadian documents, I have family documents, you name it, I'm looking at corruption up the Gahuza. When Micah says he's going to take that woman that is the daughter of Zion and he's going to bring her to evil, I have seen nothing but evil. It's incredible, just incredible, and I just hold on to God for dear life. But the bottom line is that as soon as I brought it forward, well, Comey picked it up and ran with it, and he thought that I would be coming out with it sooner. Then in December, that's when I found out the British were the red dragon. I found out about Elon Musk with his dragons, the most diabolical individual in the Bible, you know, the dragon. It is, because it stands for Thrace and war and sex and just massacre. And in fact, Islam is very Thracian, and he was obviously a follower of Thrace. So I'm going to leave that with you there. That's what prompted it. And then I realized, you know, Hillary Clinton was set up to be impeached. And I knew that. But I didn't think they'd be able to get her out. But the thing with Bill Clinton, that meant that her whole presidency was going to be nothing but up in the air. It was, if anything happened, it was going to be what Trump was. So when Trump came into it, they simply moved into what they were going to do for Hillary Clinton, and they did it to Trump. That's it. And they then proceeded down that road. And the road is to annihilate most of the population. To get yourselves hooked up with enough Wi-Fi. And by the way, I wanted to show you, I got, and I put this online in February. I got a shot last year, just about this time. It was November the 4th. And that shot caused swelling and everything going through my lymph nodes. It still hurts through my breast. It felt like things cutting into me, and I thought to myself, damn, how are they going to get that Wi-Fi into us, and how are they going to get us hooked up? And then I thought, oh my, they're going to do it through the shots, because I hurt for months. I contacted my doctor twice. It was in my lymph nodes, it was all swollen, and my mother had the same reaction. Nobody can do anything about these shots. Well, I also found out that there are other ways that they can get you hooked up, so that you're just transmitting left and right, and they're just transmitting into you. These little things. And my mother had a similar reaction as well, but hers was from a different organization. You know, I went on and I bought some more, and it said 100% cotton, cool. Okay, I thought that's cool. I can wash these very easy. I have quite a few already. All right, this whole virus is a setup. It was, and they have more. Okay, this is, you know, they have more. Okay, so here we go. It's not funny. It isn't. So so I first put this on and it was like really scratchy and like I was breathing in something. And so I said, whoa, I took it off. And I looked on it. It says 100% cotton, breathable. And then I looked at it in the back and it says, mask may contain silver and or copper. It caused inflammation all around my mouth and in my nose. So then I washed all of them very well. Rinsed them twice. Did the same thing. It did the same thing. What happens if you give this to somebody that's older, to a child, doesn't know what they're talking about? Somebody who's handicapped. They won't even know what's happening to them. It happened to my mother as well. I can't use this. I was in school last week, and all of a sudden I'm listening to their mindful segments, which I've said you shouldn't be doing, all right? The mindful segment, and all of a sudden I feel myself go like blank. And did you just hear the different sounds, that sickness? They can do all kinds of things to you now. And Elon Musk and girlfriend, hey, you know, the Russians did not complain about Fiona Hill. Trump had Fiona Hill, erection and all. I mean, excuse me. Folks, that's because the church and science has been lying about women forever. They didn't tell us we have more DNA. They didn't tell us that we're supposed to be matrilocal. That's right. 4 times in the Bible, 3 times in the New Testament, and in the Old Testament, in the beginning, a man will leave his mother and father and will cleave to his wife. That's matrilocality. That's Hurrian and Hattian, and that's where the sister marriage comes in. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye for now, because this was supposed to be shorter, but it wasn't. And I had to send that first part, so that now could hopefully help me. All right, I don't want to do this without the women. Thank you. And I say to Gibbard, namaste, and I say to Jesus, thank you, and I just thank you, God. Thank you, heaven.